Tammy Nguyen here to help us blossom. She is a producer, a filmmaker, actor, and founder of the nonprofit ATG Against the Grain Productions, where she uplifts Asian American voices through storytelling and the arts. And she's here to explore the theme of blossom in her life and her career. Please welcome my dear friend, Tammy Nguyen. Yep, and we're going to show a little clip here.
90 seconds.
90 seconds, Bill.
Okay, I'm gonna step this way so you can see.
He doesn't know it.
It's not my audio.
Oh, that's not
So no matter where, though he doesn't care,
That's our Blossom soundtrack.
he knows.
Background here. You cut it. Here we go.
I do like that other cut with the sound, though.
We have the music rights to those. All right, Tammy, y'all.
Thank you so much. I know that I belong in an organization where the Venn diagram already starts with hugs, because we also are a volunteer-based organization, and we say we pay ourselves in hugs and smiles. So I love the hugs, smiles, and high fives. I might add that. Thank you for being here and for waking up early and spending your morning with Creative Mornings. I have only had the honor of being here one other time before, but I just knew this also was my tribe. So thank you for having me. It's such an honor. Nikki and I go way back. She is on our tribe. And when she told me about what Creative Mornings did for her life, I had to find out what was all about this organization. And I'm very honored to be here with you. And this mantra that we are all creative it resonates with me so much. So I want to start, and as Nikki said, we have to get vulnerable. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about my life. There are tissues in the back if you need. Someone might have to throw me a tissue. It's okay. This was a little piece of wisdom that I came up with after a lot of soul searching. At the intersection of where your passion meets your pain, you will find your purpose. I'm going to say that one more time. At the intersection of where your passion meets your pain, you will find your purpose. I am an immigrant, but more importantly, I'm a refugee. It's different. I came to the US as a boat person in the 80s. I was very young. I came after a very harrowing escape by boat as a 3-month-old with my mother. And we were sponsored to the US by a church in Maryland, something that I don't know would happen today, quite frankly. And thinking back, I'm so blessed that someone halfway across the world thought to sponsor a mother and child that they didn't even know. My parents are hardworking immigrants. Who's an immigrant? We get the job done. They wanted me to have a stable life. We eventually made our way from Silver Spring to Garland, Texas. G-Town. Very humble beginnings, middle class, parents who worked 2 jobs to pay the rent and also send money back to Vietnam, where everyone there thought this was the land of milk and honey, and it was not. But I was very resilient. I learned English by watching Sesame Street. I was a first child. There was a lot going on there to be perfect, to handle the expectations of an immigrant family, to rise above, to have a better education. My pain was that growing up, like many of you in this society, this was in the 80s, I could not see myself anywhere. Not on TV for sure. What I saw was very stereotypical. And I felt very much like an outsider. And I tried so hard to fit in. I would not eat Vietnamese food. I would die for a Happy Meal. I just wanted to fit in. And that was so painful because there was no one like us around to tell me, you'll be okay. The turning point for me was my freshman year of high school, where my freshman teacher gave me a book called The Joy Luck Club, written by Amy Tan, and it changed my life completely. And about a year and a half later, a movie came out by the same name, The Joy Luck Club, produced by Janet Yang, who's my producer icon. And in that theater, I bawled my eyes out with my mom. Wow. For the first time, I saw our story. I saw people like me and a full Asian cast with a story of pain like mine, and it was awakening. And in that moment, I decided I knew exactly what I wanted to be when I grow up. I wanted to be a filmmaker so I could change the perception of Asian Americans in Hollywood and in the world. Kind of a big dream, right? As a child, I loved the arts. Like many of you probably were drawn to things in the arts. I was in theater, I played piano, I was made to, by the way, and violin. I also loved to do clubs and extracurricular activities, which was not really allowed, but I loved to connect with people. I also loved reading, and writing poetry is a huge passion of mine, and storytelling, which would be a common thread today. And I was just passionate about helping people. Even if my parents and I were very different foundationally, what we believed in was always giving back, because that was why we were even here. As far as school and training, just so you know, I went to Garland. Like I said, I was in the IB program. It was hard, but it made me resilient. I got a scholarship to NYU to film school. However, being a first daughter, my mom did not let me go. It's okay. It turned out, y'all. I went to my backup, but it was a great backup. I went to SMU, and it would change my life. I was a Zodiac horse, and I loved that the Mustang was also the horse. It was a pony. Go Mustangs. It all worked out, y'all. I cut my teeth there. I learned so much there. I made the best friends there. President Turner retired this year after 30 years, and he was the best president because he made room for people like me. He believed in diversity. He believed in inclusion, and he doubled down on that this year, which says so much about him. And I'm so grateful for him and for people like him who made opportunities for me to have a higher education. After that, my mom really wanted me to go to law school. I didn't want to go. But I did apply, and I got in the same hour that I got into UCLA. And I finally said, Mommy, I gotta go. I packed all my stuff into my Honda Civic and went to LA. And I got into the producers program, and for the 2 years I was there, I learned to be myself, to do the thing that I wanted to do, which is really important. So my work changed, and actually the man who gave me one of my starts is literally in the corner, who surprised me right there. Thank you, Ralph. Gave me my first start when I was a 21-year-old, just newly with an agent at SMU, and he let me work with him to make my way, make my tuition at SMU. If it weren't for him, I would not be here. And then after that, I became a development producer. I worked in music videos. I learned anything and everything I could in whatever capacity I could. And it wasn't necessarily just what my degree was either. I just wanted to find a way to tell a creative story and to connect with creative people. And from music videos to TV to film, everything I wanted was to get at the grain of truth. Eventually, I would start a nonprofit called Against the Grain Productions, based on a film that I produced called Operation Baby Lift, The Lost Children of Vietnam. The history of that event celebrates 50 years this year with the advent of the fall of Saigon. And I will tell you that story completely changed my life and connected me with an adoptee community that has helped me heal in ways I would never have thought imaginable. They were lost like me. They struggled with their identity like me. They wanted to find a sense of home and belonging just like me. And even though I was advocating for them, I healed myself through them. This is the film that started the nonprofit, that started the movement. Our mission is to raise money for underprivileged children and orphans in Southeast Asia. We also have had a scholarship fund where I will proudly say over 11 years, we have given over $100,000 to 100 amazing Asian American Pacific Islander students who are at Juilliard, NYU, Stanford, Harvard, you name it. They are the next groundbreakers of the world. I'm so proud of them. These are some of their faces, and if any of you are in graduate school or know students who are pursuing a degree, please let them know. It's free money. Oh my gosh, we want to help them. The orphanage aid started with, we feel strongly that we cannot just give money. We wanted to make sure that we had people on the ground that we could trust. So our advisors are Asian Americans who have family in Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, and Cambodia. And it's not as simple as you would think here. We are there on the ground assessing needs, finding vendors to go and hand deliver items to these children and make sure that they are able to go to school, like having bicycles to go to school as foundationally as that, things that we take for granted in this country. We're trying to find ways to give them hope from across the globe. So now back to the blossom. We're all here to blossom. I had to learn what that meant too, because I'm in a new season of life. I think we all go through seasons of life. Spring, summer, fall, winter. It's interesting that we're doing this theme as we're going into fall. Blossoming is about springtime, right? Summer is about va-va-voom.
Colombia, wouldn't it be? I think.
Oh yes, but around the world, yes. Whoever's listening around the world, you're right. So for the Colombians that are watching, this is for you. I hope you'll save this for any time of year. But for me, and I talked to Nikki about this idea of we have been cocooning for a while, like a butterfly, and that life is about cycles, because you think things are so linear, but they're really not. There's phases and cycles to everything, and if you see it as a season, I went through a really hard winter. Really hard winter. Wow, I think I'm still kind in winter, but I see the buds coming out. And in order to blossom, there's a couple things that, thank you AI for helping me figure out how to help y'all blossom. Recognize that you are not where you want to be. Recognizing that is the starting point to begin to change your life. You have to recognize that first. So I'm going to give you 4 takeaways. I love lists. Who loves lists? You screenshot this if you want, but I love lists with a couple bullets just to help me understand what that means. First, cultivate your mindset. So, and I think this is going to be very common for you, to embrace a growth mindset, or else you would not even be here. To practice self-reflection, which is so difficult, to look at yourself in the mirror and see what are your glows and grows is what I tell my children. To challenge negative thoughts, oh my gosh, I have so many of those. As a woman, so much of that has been culture and society and parents, and to figure out what needs to get out of there. To practice gratitude. I do this with my children every night. At our bedtime, we say, what are you grateful for today? Even if it is, we have a roof over our head, we had a great meal today, you're breathing, you're still alive. Number 2, take intentional action, which you already hear, so you already know this one. Set clear goals. And my friends have told me this. If you can write it, you will manifest it. Don't just think it, write it down and take daily steps toward what that means. Little by little by little, one step in front of the other. Stepping outside of your comfort zone, oh man, that's a hard one. I'm 47 years old, so I'm comfortable with a lot of different things. And in order to grow, you have to get outside of that. And it's scary to take a risk, but you have to. To pursue hobbies and interests, so you know what you love, but what is the one thing that you wish you could have done? If you knew you were going to die tomorrow and you wanted to try something, why not try it? And you're going to continue to learn. That's that growth mindset, right? Being here, number 3, you already got this down. Nurture your relationships. Build a strong support network. And I get this one, give back to others. I think that's part of the gratitude portion. And I added the hashtag because, I'll explain that to you later. Improve your communication skills, because we all get into these patterns of talking that maybe it doesn't vibe, and you have to constantly challenge, how are you talking? How are they receiving? Are you listening? To forgive yourself and others. Oh man. Grace is a big thing. This one is especially hard for me because I am a perfectionist. I was taught to be that way, and there is no room for error. Anyone feel that way? Oh. But because you hold yourself so accountable, it's part of who you are. But you have to look back and say, I did the best I could with what I had in that moment with what I knew. That was a very hard one for me to understand, especially when it comes to relationships. The 4th one, prioritize self-care. Oh, as a mom, I forget this one a lot. Rest and sleep, so foundational. Who likes to sleep? Who doesn't sleep? Yeah, I know. Forced rest. I promise you, that reset is so important. To eat healthy and hydrate, I hope you've enjoyed the food. Food is my love language, and it's so simple. It's a small way to give love to others and to yourself. To stay active. Guess what, y'all? I'm doing Krav Maga. I do not work out. I do not like to sweat. I do not like to run. However, I've been getting up twice a week for the last 2 months at 5 a.m. to go work out, punch, kick, learn self-defense, and it feels great. I challenge you to do something where you're getting out, breathing, enjoying nature, forgetting technology. And if you want to come work out with me, you're welcome. Practice self-compassion. That's the same thing about grace. We all are flawed. We all make mistakes. Some are terrible than others. But you're human. You're here. You're given a new chance every day to make a new choice. And this little image, I know it's kind of small, but it says, when a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the flower. When a flower doesn't bloom, you fix the environment in which it grows, not the beautiful flower. And I wanted to give you an analogy of a lotus flower. It's a very typical icon in the Asian culture. But interestingly enough, a lotus rises from the muck, from the mud, from water that is not clear or clean. And you see this beautiful thing emerge. And it is a symbol of purity, of enlightenment, resilience, transformation, renewal, peace, perseverance, detachment, beauty, and potential. My mom, her name is actually Lotus Flower, interestingly enough. And a reminder of the seasons, and I'm going to read this to you. Remember that every season is not a growing season. Every season is not harvest. There are seasons of watering, seasons of planting, seasons of pulling up weeds and fertilizing the ground. These are important seasons. They are times of testing where God is seeing what you're made of. Seeing what you're made of, and if you're going to keep a good attitude when you're not making progress. Are you going to do the right thing when you're not seeing growth? Have faith and patience. It's just an illustration of the seasons to remind you that you are all doing this all the time. What season are you in right now? Just think about that for a second. You don't have to tell me. A reminder that nothing in nature blooms all year. Just to be patient with yourself and breathe. I want to leave you with some inspirational words to live by. This is in my signature. I decided to do that because I wanted to remind myself and anyone that I email about these words, and I'll read them to you. The first two I learned in high school. Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. You were never given a wish without also being given the power to make it come true. You may have to work for it, however. Those are both from Richard Bach from the book Illusions. It's a very small book, but it's very good. The third one, I love this one. It's been a hard one for me. Develop enough courage so that you can stand up for yourself and then stand up for somebody else. Everyone knows this one. Be the change you want to see in the world. Gandhi. And the last one is a dear friend of mine who has given me so much love and light and hope, who is fighting for her life with colon cancer. Sai Suzuki, who is one of the founding namesakes of our RISE scholarship. She said, "Together we rise." The Because campaign is a PSA we started to remind you that just like you live and breathe right now, that you can give back, just because. And I invite you to visit our website, Against the Grain Productions, to find out what that PSA says and how it resonates with you. Thank you.
For questions and giveaway.
Okay,
Thank
so
you so much.
I love giveaways. I don't really know how I'm going to give this away other than maybe some trivia. I don't know. But I wanted to ask you just some audience participation stuff. And then how about we start with some first questions, those burning questions, and I'll do giveaways too. Burning questions? Yes.
You translated your mom's name, but what is your mom's name?
It's Ailien, Ailien. And it means, I think, lotus flower. That's what she's always told me. I'll be very sad if I'm wrong. Another question? Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that you were coming out of a winter. What would you say your greatest lesson or learning has been from that season? Or what are you going into this new season having learned?
My friends are constantly reminding me of the lesson of grace and self-compassion because I keep beating myself up for this one big, what I think is a mistake. But without that mistake, I wouldn't have the life that I have. So two things can be true at the same time. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
You shared your journey, the real struggles that you had from being a very small girl. And I mean, it's intense. And now you have a legacy. You spoke of children. What is your highest hope for your children?
I think about this with our new documentary, Light of Day, and why I started it to begin with. Because I came from so much pain, a generation and multi-generations impacted by war. I want to break that cycle, and I think it's very difficult because you think how you grew up is normal or normalized. And I saw this image on Instagram once, which was an umbrella, and it said, "Do not let the storm of your life rain on your children," something like that. And it was about intergenerational trauma. I was like, oh, that's so good. Because it's true. My goal with my children today, and they know it, 3 pillars, which is to love, protect, and guide you. And I said, you can never make me violate that, and I will never break that covenant to you. So whatever I do today is to give them all that I had and all that I didn't have. And to heal my inner child. Yes.
That was my next question, inner child. Thank you for your story and your presence. So you shared that, your childhood was very difficult and there's still perfectionism that you're working with. And so I'm curious to hear what your journey with your inner child has been, because there's a lot unfolding.
That is a great question. And when you have children, all of a sudden you're confronted with however many versions of yourself right there speaking back to you. Oh, it's hard, right? Like, why are they like that? Oh, because I taught them that. And that has been the biggest awakening, because without that, you can just traipse through your day and interact with people, and you have no idea why you are the way they are. You're just, oh, that's them. No, your children are like telling you why life is the way it is. And so to teach them, I have to constantly be looking at our life, our value system, our culture, our traditions, what serves us, what doesn't serve us, and why we're doing what we're doing every day. It's a choice. And I don't know that everyone does that, but for me, I'm a very intentional, engaged parent because I had to choose. It was very difficult for me to have my first daughter, and so that process of trying to have a child versus just having a child made me so grateful for her, and that process of, well, what does this even mean to be a parent? Because to be a parent, you don't have to get a driver's license. You have to have a test. You have to study, right? Like, to be a parent, there's no qualifications at all, although there should be. If I could change the next generation, as you know, with scholarships and my children, it's because I'm trying to think what will serve them best, and they're all so different. So I'm always trying to think, well, you need this, you need this, you need this, and to listen, because I think that was foundationally so difficult when you're in a culture that is just do as I say. I don't need to know what you think, you just need to do as I say, because I know better than you. Anyone resonate with that? And when you're creative, you know yourself, you know your spirit, and maybe no one is listening to you. That's why your soul is doing this creative thing, because you're trying to get out of this box that they've put you in. So I always say, what is it that you want to do? Who do you want to be? Let mommy help get you there. Let mommy find the resources and the experts to give you all you need to nurture the soil so that you can grow into what the universe and God intended for you to be. Because why are you here otherwise? There's no other you that needs to be here than the one that God gave you to me for a reason. So I can make you the best version of you, or you can find the way to be the best version of you, and I'm here just as your caretaker in the interim. That's how I see it.
Do you do that to your inner child as well?
Oh, why are you so mean to me? Can we sit in the couch? I'm working on that every day. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You mentioned going to UCLA and that period of learning and working in different capacities, in the film industry, producing and acting, which eventually led you to Operation Baby Luck
Yes.
and starting your nonprofit. What was the thing that sparked that really fueled you to focus into that project?
Oh gosh, that was such an interesting story. I was actually just recently graduated from SMU, and I was directing a play for the Vietnamese Center. And it was the 25th anniversary of the fall of Saigon. So this was 25 years ago, where I was told about this historic event that I had never been told about before, not taught in any history book, still to this day, unfortunately. And I said, oh my gosh, this is the first time I've heard a story that feels so good. Because everything I'd ever heard about the Vietnam War in my family was like in hushed whispers and a lot of trauma if they talked about it at all. And here was this American nurse named Tammy Nguyen, married to a Vietnamese man, but she was a Caucasian nurse who served in the Vietnam War, and told me about, did you know that there was this thing called Operation Baby Lift, where we helped bring orphans onto planes and they were brought to the United States and around the world to create a better life for them. I'm like, what are you talking about? What? That's amazing. And that curiosity just stayed with me through UCLA. And when they gave me a grant, I said, I can't tell my story as a refugee. It was just too close. I'm not good with personal stuff to me. But that story is just close enough where I feel like I can tell that story. I'm so curious. I want to know more. And it turned out I had a personal connection to it that would unfold later. I can have a conversation with you all about baby lifts, about why that story is so personal to me today. But curiosity and passion. Yes, in the back.
So mine was a little bit related to what the person said about your inner child. When we were talking about the seasons of like your being and expression, and you talk about, I'm in a winter right now. I'm curious if you have any sort of regular creative rituals to express that grief for yourself.
We're so fun. Come sit with me. This is part of that, I think. The self-reflection part, because I didn't even know I was going from fall to winter. It just happened like this. I thought I was in summer. And all of a sudden it went fall to winter, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's cold and dark and dank, and what just happened? I want the sun. And I realized I was in the depths of winter. And it took me getting out of my cave, because COVID put us all in a cave, y'all. Isolated us, separated us, and I put ATG on the back burner. So many things, I got disconnected from my passions. And I realized I was no longer being myself. And what would reconnect me to the things that I loved about my former life, or would make me want to live again? What would make me happy? Or what would give me purpose beside my children? Because when you're a mom, all of a sudden that envelops you completely, your identity, and you forget who you are. It's such an easy, cliche thing that happens. I was told it would happen. I was like, no, it's not. It did. And ATG was always that thing. And I had put it away. Someone had told me to put it away. And that person's no longer going to be in my life, thank God. But I brought that back. And that helped me fertilize the soil, give me sunshine, water the plant that I didn't know was shriveling because I was in winter. I was in hibernation. Not dead, just hibernating. So reconnect to the things that give you life. And what are those things? Everyone's going to be different. What are the things that make your soul just sing? You know. You know. Yes.
Kind of for your comment, how do you now balance intentionality as a mom in your family life and your creative pursuits?
That's a hard one because it's logistics. Like there's just going to be days where it's all them. Brrr. My friends know I'm doing this, I'm doing carpool, I'm doing PTA, I'm doing, and then I just have to carve out time. And on my Wednesday, on my personal calendar, I have like a little thing that I put just to remind myself. It's a Wellness Wednesday, to just do like one good thing for myself for the week. It doesn't have to be big. It's like I went for a walk, but now that I'm working again, I have to be very intentional about like maximizing my time because I have so little time outside of my children. So it's really like a project management thing. And I'm sure that there are experts on how you, I'm a producer, so I literally see things in layers. Everyone's schedule, my schedule, and priorities. So my children have, everything is on the same priority list. Oh my goodness. But then I have to say, okay, I know you want this, I know you think you want this, and I think you need this, but really what you want and what you need, in what order and how much. So maybe you have to ask yourself those questions so you kind of know, okay, I want this, I need this, here's what I put it in buckets and pockets. Because as creatives, I'm very visual. I need to put my life in sometimes like pockets or bins or piles and go, okay, I'm going to deal with this. This is a fire right now. It's like the Matrix. It's like, blah, 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 blah. That's how my mind thinks. Your mind might think differently. 5 minutes? Yes. Okay. Am I an immigrant or a refugee? Y'all said stuff so fast. Nikki, can you just help me? Yes. I'm going to give out 5. And you just hand them out as fast as you want.
Who got it right?
You get one, you get one, you get one. What country did I?
Vietnam.
There you go. I didn't even finish. Very good. What is the name of my nonprofit? Okay, Nikki. Just keep going. I'm feeling generous. What was my fallback school that ended up being the best thing ever? There you go. How many Mustangs are in the room? Every Mustang in the room gets one. Automatic, done. Okay, who can explain what the Because campaign means? Anybody? Anybody? No one can explain the Because campaign. Oh my gosh, I didn't do a good job explaining what it means. I'll just tell you and then I'll ask it again and whoever can say it back. Okay? It means just like you live and breathe, as easy as you breathe, just because, to remind you to give back to others. Just because. Okay, now who knows what Because campaign is? We're writing it back. Who knows what Because means? Still nobody? Oh, okay. Someone who does not have a DVD, explain what Because means.
Just because you live and breathe, you should give back.
Very nice. And I have one last giveaway. I think it's so cute. I have to ask a harder question. Okay. What is one of the guiding principles of Creative Mornings?
Everyone is creative.
Okay, so I'm going to give him this fun gift. I love this so much. I wanted to keep it for myself. Will you open it in front of everyone? Here you go. What's your name?
Maddox.
Maddox. What a cool name. Okay, Maddox is going to open the gift. Maddox, will you stand and show everyone what it is? It's a Lego typewriter that has a little bloom coming out of it. And it has a little text that says, "Once upon a time," to remind you of your story. I want to thank you so much for having me this morning. I know Nikki needs to close us out. I'll be staying back to answer any questions, to meet you. I love to meet and connect with creatives. And thank you again so much for having me and for being here.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.